Subutai is the newest cavalry commander in the game, and he is a very good rally commander. And today, I'm going to be doing a Subutai in-depth guide. I'm going to go over his skills, I'm going to go over his talents, I'm going to go over his best pairings, I'm going to go over if he's good on the open field, I'm going to talk about his rally potential. I'm going to tell you everything you want to know about Subutai. So if you're interested in him, maybe you want to invest in him, maybe you want to know if he's good on the field, or maybe you're just curious about the current rally meta, you want to stick around till the end of the video. Now, as always with these in-depth guides, let's begin by going over Subutai's skills. And we're going to start off with his active skill today. Very, very simple active skill. He launches 3 combo attacks against a single target, damage factor 1000 each. Combo attack is affected only by normal damage, and it can be triggered by basic attack. So essentially, he's going to deal a 1000 damage factor for 3 seconds. Each time he does a normal attack. Now, I don't know exactly how combo attacks work, as if could he do 3 attacks at once, or is he only going to be doing a single attack each turn? I think it's 3 attacks at once, because that's what it looks like. It doesn't say it's over 3 turns, it just says 3 combo attacks. Really, though, he is dealing 1000 damage factor 3 times, 3000 single target. Very, very solid amount of single target, very meta level, obviously. I think it is the first, or one of the first commanders to surpass that 3000 damage factor threshold. I think maybe Shajar was the highest that was in the game until recently at 2800, and now Subutai is at a total of 3000. So definitely the highest damage active skill in the game, but it's very simple, just going to be launching 3000 total damage. Moving on to his second skill, 15% march speed for his cavalry units. Very nice, going to make you move faster, which is good on the field, useless for a rally for most situations, but it is nice to be moving faster on the field with that 15% march speed. On top of this, if he's leading a rallied army, cavalry units in the army gain a total of 20% attack and 30% defense. Really nice stats there, 30% defense, pretty much on par with the meta, I would say. So generally, pretty nice stats. The attack a bit low, but not too bad, and the defense kind of makes up for it. So second skill, really good for rally. Open field wise, you're going to notice he doesn't have many stats, because most of your stats usually come from the second skill. He is a rally. He's not going to be getting many stats for the field. So this skill kind of shows that he isn't going to be the most OP on the field, because it is a rally skill off the bat. Moving on to his third skill, if he's attacking a city or stronghold, he's going to deal a total of 10% more combo attack, and whenever he launches a combo attack, he's going to have a 60% chance to gain another 15% bonus to normal damage dealt for 8 seconds. This effect can stack up to 2 times, and its duration resets whenever he gains another stack. So really what this is saying is Subutai could, in theory, keep up around a 30% normal damage bonus for the majority of his time on the open field. As long as he's got a good rage cycle going and he gets a little bit lucky on his combo attacks on his active skill, he should be able to keep up a 30% normal damage bonus, which is really good. He's going to be a punchy, really strong rally commander in that situation, because he's going to be dealing a ton of combo attack and he's going to have a ton of normal damage as well. So in the right situation, this can be a really, really good active or passive skill that goes with his active skill and makes him deal a ton of extra damage. Very, very nice. The normal attack also is going to be nice. He's going to be dealing a ton of extra counter attack, and he seems like he's going to be a bit of an anti-swarm beast overall. Moving on to the fourth skill, whenever he launches a basic attack while outside of Alliance territory, 30% chance to launch a combo attack, damage factor 700. Very, very simple. Nice synergy there with that third skill. Should allow him to keep up pretty much a very high chance of keeping up that stacks of normal damage. Between his active skill doing 3 combo attacks and the fourth skill allowing him to do a combo attack pretty much once every 4 turns, he should have a good chance of keeping up 30% normal damage. So almost always, once he gets a bit ramped up, 30% normal damage, really anti-swarm, really good for his active skill. Not to mention 700 extra combo attack damage isn't a small amount. That is a solid amount of extra damage, and it is quite powerful as well. So a very nice fourth skill, ties in good with that third skill. Moving on to his expertise, if this commander's troop is attacking a troop on the map, which is the only thing on his kit that is currently only troop attack specific, his active skills get inflict the burn effect. To my knowledge, this is pretty much the same as Takeda. It is literally Takeda. It says Takeda Shingen's fierce as fire. So the burn effect, literally the same as Takeda. The way it works is, for the next 2 seconds, whenever the target's hit with a basic attack, it's got a 50% chance to take 20% more normal damage. That's a sizable amount of extra normal damage. it can line up pretty good with active skills. It can line up with combo attack damage. Considering how many combo attacks he's going to be doing, this can be a really, really powerful burn effect for the next 1 second. So it's not going to last too long. I think Takeda's might last a little bit longer. I will just double check that. Actually, Takeda's last the exact same amount, so ignore what I said. But it is a very, very solid debuff to have, and it was a reason Takeda used to be meta. On top of this, if he's attacking a city or stronghold, his active skill is going to have an enhanced version of the burn effect on the target for 2 seconds. Whenever they hit with a basic attack, it has a 100% chance for them to take 20% more normal damage for a total of 1 second. So really, what this is doing is whenever he launches an active skill, he's going to be making them take a ton of extra normal damage, which is just going to make him stronger. So overall, very, very powerful expertise there. It's going to synergize well with him as a rally. Field-wise, it's pretty mid, but in terms of it, it's a very nice debuff to have, and it kind of makes Takeda a bit irrelevant. So Subutai's active skill is pretty damn good. In terms of a skill overview, if you're running Subutai, you can't really go anything below an expertise. His expertise is almost essential, and a lot of his stats are very spread out and across his kit. If you're running him on the open field, I would maybe say you couldn't really get away even then without an expertise. So I think Subutai is an expertise or nothing commander. Go all in or go home, otherwise he's just not going to be the most overpowered commander in the game. So Subutai overall should be pretty powerful in terms of combo attacks, but you want to expertise him, otherwise he isn't going to have the most effectiveness. Now, moving on to Subutai's pairings, and we're going to look at open field and also rallying, but I will start with rallying. He is obviously a rally commander. Number 1 is Attila. I mean, Attila, in terms of a rally already, is still pretty good. The one thing Attila lacked was a pairing, and I've seen testing results. Attila with Subutai, to my knowledge, is absurdly powerful. Attila's active skill is going to synergize ridiculously well with A, not only the fact it's going to give you crazy anti-swarm, but B, it's going to give Subutai even more single target damage. Attila is already annoying as crap to swarm down. Subutai is giving you a ton of extra normal damage. Attila's giving you even more. This March is just an anti-swarm beast that's going to be dealing ridiculous single target. Attila's debuffs onto your opponent are also really nice. A lot of stuff about Attila's kit is really good for rallying, and he's just going to synergize really, really well with Subutai. Run him as a primary, run them together. To my knowledge, it is currently the best rally in the game by a fairly substantial margin. It demolishes pretty much every single garrison to exist, and it is really, really good. The other option you can run him is Arthur Pendragon, but Arthur Pendragon isn't the most overpowered, and Arthur is going to be run as a primary commander as well. That's not too big of a deal. Subutai is right as a secondary. He works pretty fine, but Arthur's kit, it's kind of reliant on him being a field troop and attacking field troops. He isn't really the most rally-driven commander. You can see a lot of his stuff is based on attacking field troops. You can get away with him maybe because he does have combo attack and there isn't really any other options, but he's nowhere near your number 1. You want to run Attila, it's going to be a much stronger march, and it is going to be insanely meta. So Attila with Subutai, running Subutai as a secondary, you're in a perfect position to run him on the rally situation, and it's going to be fully meta. In terms of the open field, Pendragon probably beats Attila in most situations there, because Attila, while he is an okay open field commander, only single target, while Pendragon, really good combo commander with AoE and a lot of open field based stuff. So Arthur Pendragon, I'd run him on the open field with Subutai if that was your choice of pairing for the field. So if you wanted to run him on the field, Subutai with Arthur is most likely going to be the better option. Arthur obviously is the primary, so you can get access to the combo attacks, lots of normal damage there, good AoE, solid single target. Not going to be the most insane. I think Arthur does have some better pairings, but it is a solid open field pairing that you can consider running if you want to do some combo attack. Now, in terms of challenge trees for Subutai, I don't have him currently unlocked or expertise or anything, so I can't show you his talents in-game, but really he's not going to be a primary commander in any situation. You're either going to run him with Arthur, Arthur's the primary, or you're going to run him with Attila, and Attila's going to be the primary. And with Attila, you can just go snatch a rally tree off Google, and you're probably going to be in a good position. When it comes down to it, the combo tree just isn't really it, especially for rallying and Subutai. When you think about it, Subutai's best pairing is going to be with Attila. Attila doesn't have any combo attacks, so most of the combo attack tree is completely negligible. If you're running him on the field, run Arthur, go on the combo attack tree, put the rest of your points into cavalry, and you're in a good position. Fully max the combo attack tree. These side talents can be nice, taking less damage and all that. It's nice for rallying, but overall, you don't fully need the combo attack tree when you're rallying with Subutai. The reason being, only he's going to be doing combo attacks, and while he is the main damage dealer, Attila's normal attack is nothing to laugh at. It is still absurdly high, and it just makes more sense to go into Attila's tree, put a lot of points into the attack tree, put a lot of points into the cavalry tree, and then put some down to get Buckler Shield. Buckler Shield, my number one talent in the game. I love it. But just getting some of these talents is going to be better for you. Now, I can't show you specific talent builds again because I don't have any cavalry commander's expertise, or I don't have access to show you any cavalry commander talents. But when it comes down to it, Subutai's best talent tree, it's not really going to be him in general. If you had to run him as a primary, which I don't really see a situation where you would, mainly go into the cavalry tree, grab some of the combo attack stuff that's useful for rallying, like Impenetrable, but generally I just focus on the cavalry tree, make sure you go into the conquering tree and get Buckler Shield, otherwise just don't really bother with running Subutai's talents. Not important, should be pretty much ignored for almost every situation, because he just isn't a primary commander. As for open field effectiveness on Subutai, generally he looks like he's going to be pretty average. A lot of his kit is locked behind being a rally, and while he does seem usable with Arthur, I think running Arthur with Nevsky is probably just going to be a little bit stronger. Now, if you have the correct armaments and you've got a really stacked build, I think the butterfly effect is a really important one to have for combo attacks. If you got the right armaments, you can probably run Subutai on the open field with Nevsky, and it's going to be really good. But for the majority of players, if you don't have those really crazy meta armaments, Subutai, just ignore him. He's not too good for the field. He's a very niche investment. You must expertise him. A lot of his stats is locked behind being a rally commander. His second skill, his third skill, and majority of his expertise, or the good part of his expertise, it's hard to get full value or any value out of. So for the most part, Subutai on the field isn't really a go-to. He seems okay with Arthur Pendragon if you have the correct armaments, but there are just much stronger commanders who would work better for the majority of players. Now, if you have the butterfly effect and you have access to all the armaments and you're running Arthur as a combo attack damage commander anyways, then you could run Subutai with Arthur, meta march. You're going to probably destroy a bunch of stuff, but even then it probably will fall out the meta the second a new combo damage commander comes out for cavalry. So unless you have the butterfly effect, just ignore Subutai. He ain't that good for the field. He seems like he'll be okay, but I just don't think he's going to be absolute meta, and there are better commanders that you can invest your sculptures in that might have a bit more long-term potential than Subutai. He's kind of similar to Gorgo in my opinion, where when Gorgo first released, I said she was good for the field, but she was probably not the number one pickup. If you ran her with Leo Chair and you were a garrison already and you had the right setups, you'd be good to go. But once we got a new Smite commander, William Wallace, Gorgo was pretty much just forgotten because William Wallace is literally just better. So when it comes down to it, Subutai, probably the same situation. If you got the right setup and you're willing to, obviously, maybe you're rallying with him anyways and you have to expertise him, in those situations, running on the field, he'll be pretty decent. But I wouldn't go out of my way to get a Subutai and expertise him and hope he's going to be good on the field, because he isn't going to be the most amazing forever. He's probably good right now, but he just isn't absolute meta. So now that brings me to the question, what do I think of Subutai as an investment? And obviously he's hard to access because he is only available in the Mightiest Governor right now. Overall, I think he's not the best investment in the game for open field. I've said that, I made that pretty clear, but for rallying, he's absolute meta. I think he's a ridiculously powerful rally, comparable almost to the strength of Attila Takeda when it released, and of course, Attila just had to rear his head again and become a meta commander. Subutai, really similar. He is definitely meta for rallying, 100% go-to in my opinion. Not the best investment for the field though. So if you're a rally main and you want a rally commander, expertise Subutai right now. He's probably going to remain meta for quite a while. He seems fairly anti-swarm. He seems annoying to deal with. He's got crazy single target. He's just one of the best rally commanders that's released in a very long time. So Subutai, instant expertise for rallying, but for the field, in my opinion, you can skip him and be in a perfectly fine situation. So he's not a must invest for the field. I don't even think he is a choice over a lot of other commanders. I still think Nevsky or Hachabing or even Joan might be better overall investments, but he would be usable on the field if you do expertise him for that rally situation. Won't be overpowered, but would be usable, and overall, in my opinion, he's an okay investment. Good to go with if you're a rally main or you need to rally. Average for the open field. So now that you've made it to the end of today's video, I just want to ask you guys to please consider telling me in the comments what you think about Subutai. I'm obviously not a cavalry main, so I don't fully know everything about him, and maybe there was some small nuance or some small thing in his kit that I did miss that would be quite important or makes him a better or worse commander. If there's wording in a skill that I missed or something I got wrong, please tell me in the comments. If there's a comment that really tells me something important, I'll either write it and pin it, or I will just pin your comment in general. So if someone gives me a really important comment that says a lot about Subutai and I'm like, wow, I missed that. Like, for example, there was a guide I did recently with the Archer Commander Cho Young, and I forgot about Heraclius. For some reason, I just completely forgot about Heraclius. Obviously, it's a meta garrison. So I did pin a comment. I said that Heraclius was meta. For some reason, I forgot him. If you see something similar to Subutai, maybe there's a pairing I missed, maybe there's something about his kit that I missed, tell me in the comments. If it's important, I will pin it. And even then, I read every single comment. I don't respond to them as fast as I used to, but I do still heart and respond to as many comments as I possibly can. So any information you guys can give is much appreciated. Other than that, I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.